Loud, so you have to agree. Okay,
Got it.
all righty. So I am here today with my superstar client and friend, Richard T. Kovacs. I call him Dick. He goes by Dick. But anyway, he is, in my mind, the perfect example of a professional life surfer. And so I thought rather than writing out Dick's kind of story or testimonial, that I would interview him live, ask him a couple of questions, and hopefully the information he'll share with you will be inspirational. So, hi Dick, and I'm going to start off by asking you a question. So, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
84.
84, all right. And when you and I first started working together, how old were you then?
Well, I think that was 2017. So I guess I was 79.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I think it was year 79 because I remember shortly after we started working together, we celebrated your 80th birthday and had a great party, and we were there. I was there at your party with your family and friends, and that was kind of the beginning of our journey.
I almost forgot about the party.
Yeah, we had a good time, right?
Oh, yeah.
You always have a good time. I think that's one of the keys to your health and fitness. And so I just want to kind of set the scene for people. So, can you describe a little bit kind of what your life was like in December of 2016 or 17 before we started working together? Kind of what had just happened in your life? Where were you at?
Well, I'd just like to say a few things before I get started on that.
Sure.
I'd like to begin with that I am an advocate for no smoking. It's definitely been had a bad effect on my life and my wife's. And as you'll see how it happened, the smoking part of it anyway. So I have to go back a few years other than 2016. Back in 2008, I had a heart attack. And in 2009 to 2011, I recovered from 3 cancers, including the removal of the top lobe of my right lung. And around that same time, my wife had lung surgery also. So that smoking is not a good thing, actually. Well, it wasn't.
Right.
Anyway. So Margaret's lung surgery was 2014. And then after they removed a portion of her lung, she was okay, but she had to take chemo and radiation treatments, and then she got a brain tumor. And because she had the surgery on her lung, she wasn't strong enough to have any medical work on her brain tumor. So then she had to have a radiation, which affected her because it diminished her eyesight and her hearing. But anyway,
That's really hard. That's a lot to go through. And you really loved your wife. You had been together for most of your life, right, Dick?
I met her when she was in the 3rd grade and I was in the 6th. But at that time, we just maybe said hello to each other.
Right.
So anyway, Margaret passed away in 2016. And during these 7 or 8 years, I was an emotional mess. I was depressed, gained excessive weight, and I blossomed 243 pounds from about 190.
Wow.
And along the way, for a couple of years, I tried unsuccessfully to lose weight. I tried different diets, different programs, and I wasn't successful. I was always 240 roughly. And talking with my daughter-in-law, Maureen, she recommended Deanne. It was you, of course. And I'm very happy that that happened. And I called Deanne and this was the start of a new life for me. My new fitness life was a big change in my eating habits. No junk food, measured meals, uh, new exercise program, walking 2 or 3 miles on most days, fitness exercise with Deanne, 1 hour twice a week. My front room and TV room have become the Kovacs Fitness Center.
It's true.
The fitness center has a Schwinn exercise bike and a Nordic track treadmill, plus weight dumbbells, 7 pairs, I believe. I have weight balls, and I have balance plates. I have step-up boards with risers, and et cetera, et cetera.
A lot of stuff like the Evolve balance board. That was one of the latest things that we kind of added to your routine. Once you started improving your muscular endurance and strength and cardiovascular fitness, then we started to really add more balance components and kind of agility components to his program. And one of the things that I found really exciting to hear from you, Dick, just recently in 2022, you picked up a new sport kind of recently, or a sport that you used to do, but you hadn't done it in years. And now you're doing it every Monday afternoon, I believe, at 2 o'clock.
Oh yeah, so I'm at the senior center here in Newtown. They have 1 hour, no, what happened the afternoon ping pong tournaments. Well, so far there's only been 3 or 4 of us, but what I'm very happy is that I'm able to run after the ball, bend over and pick it up. I mean, before I lost all the weight, I had to get down on my hands and knees to pick the ball up and find a way to pull myself back up again. So I'm very limber now, you know.
Right, that's really great, right? And ping pong is really good for hand-eye coordination and agility, but also, it's a way that, Dick has many ways, but it's a way that he engages with the community and is socializes, which is really good for your emotional health and your mental health and spiritual health, right? That sense of connection, not feeling alone.
I got a lot of stuff going for me, huh? Spiritual too.
Yeah, he's got it all. I mean, some of the other things, Dick, maybe you could share with everybody, like some of the other activities you do aside from our fitness program that really kind of create this whole holistic picture of wellness.
Well, I'd like to finalize by saying that I met my goal of losing the excessive weight. And I hardly ever miss an exercise date. I mean, Deanne, she doesn't allow it. I mean, she's always there and she's excessively prompt and always at my front door on time. So I can't pull a cover over my head in bed. So anyway, I like to end it there. So my one big goal, losing weight, is gone, and I have not gained it back. It's awful hard when she's here all the time pushing me. So, you want to know some more stuff, huh? So I have no time any longer to be depressed. I am a member of the Newtown Lions Club. I've been involved since 1986. That's quite a long time that I've been in that club. And I'm involved in a lot of the club activities. And I'm also a member of the Methodist Church. And I'm on the stewardship committee, which is raising money for the church budget, the operating budget. I'm also on a memorials committee, which is the church needs a lot of stuff all the time, like new candles, needs a new speaker, it needs new cushions for the seats.
Right.
A lot of things. So the memorials committee, through all the money that they hold from donations, buy all these things. So it doesn't come out of the operating budget. Usually it's donated funds.
Right. And didn't you recently install a new fountain at the church? And you actually, didn't you order it, measure for it, and then you installed it?
Yeah, well, I, well, the water fountain leaked. So they had a plumber give us a quote of $900 or something. So I went and checked the price out and I was able to get it for $480. So, and I used to be the owner of a Kovacs construction, and it was one of the plumbers working almost across the street on a Kovacs project. So I asked him to come over and just install a water heater. I mean, the water fountain.
Right.
So I ordered it. It came in. He and his helper came across the street one day. In 2 hours, they replaced it, and it was a donation to the church, actually. So, and they've done other work for the church. I called them in to put a monument up, even because they had an excavator locally. So, anyway, so I got connections. It looks like, huh?
Yes, you sure do.
So, what else can I tell you about it? I'm also a member of the trustees. Well, that job for the water fountain was a part of the trustees. And the trustees are responsible for the church building and grounds, and which is the upkeep and the repair and replacement, including safety and the heating and the boilers, and quite a responsibility. And for about 10 years, I drove a car for the Newtown Fish program, and we were volunteers driving residents in Newtown to medical appointments.
Right. And a lot of those people who you drove, Dick, were younger than you, correct?
Yes. Well, a lot of them were ladies that didn't drive, or was there a couple guys that didn't drive anymore either. And a lot of the people were walking with canes and walkers at the age of 50 and 60. And God, I mean, here I am in my 80s driving them around without a walker.
Right.
Uh,
That says a lot.
well, I mean, it was a different thing for the day. So,
Right, but it's quality of life, right? I mean, you're speaking to their quality of life versus your quality of life, and how fitness really plays such a role in what you're able to do, and that you live independently, you drive independently, you're able to enjoy your family. When you go to baseball games and climb up bleachers, and you can keep up with everybody, no problem.
I have a lot of friends that are very overweight, and I tell them about me, and they know I've lost a lot of weight and I'm pretty fit, and they don't pay any attention to it. They just continue on. So there's not, other than getting a big stick and beating them, to do that to get their attention, maybe.
Right.
So, well, the pandemic ended the fish program, which is 10 years I did that, once or twice a month. We had 20, 30 people in residence that actually were volunteers. So, and the other thing, for about 10 years, I also worked for the Newtown Faith Food Pantry, which distributes food for the needy. And the big job is, people are very generous in Newtown, and they contribute a lot of food. We have people that every week they go to Stop and Shop or Big Y, buy $300 worth of food and drop it off.
Wow. That's
And
incredible.
a lot of people just send checks. And so we have a lot of money. So I also, on occasion, I go with a couple of people, and we go to Aldi's in Danbury and buy cases of canned foods or boxed foods, cases of it, because the price is pretty cheap. And
Right.
so
And you help stock the food pantry, right,
oh yeah,
Dick?
well,
And you work with a lot of younger women who are a lot younger than you are, and you keep right up with them, and you stock the shelves and
yeah,
don't need a break.
a lot of them say, "Don't you ever sit down?" Because they're sitting. And I say, "No, I
Mm-hmm.
don't need to." They're amazed. So one of the
Right.
guys, his father's 80, and he says, God, I wish my father was in the physical shape that you are, because he can't hardly move around the house anymore. I
Right.
love hearing that, but I'm sorry that he is in that shape. So anyway,
Sure. But you're an inspiration to so many people, Dick.
so I also like to point out at church, I do a lot of work too. I'd like to point out what I do there.
Sure.
I already mentioned some stuff that I do, but I'm also a member of the Bible study class. I've been doing that for a few years and it's been very enlightening. I mean, when I was a kid reading the Bible, I was just a teenager. When I read it, I didn't understand what life was all about. Now that I'm doing the Bible study, those people back then in the Bible were just like us. They're no different. They just didn't have all the modern conveniences and all the cell phones and books and whatever. They didn't even have books. They,
Right. No,
oh,
no Facebook for them.
so so that's something also that I'm very happy that I joined. And so we went through the whole. We've already gone through the whole New Testament, and now we're doing the Old Testament. Been through Genesis, Exodus with Moses, reading the Ten Commandments, and that's where we're at right now. And let's see what else I can tell you. Okay, well, I guess that ends that question, I guess, right?
Yeah. Can I ask you one more question? So I guess thinking about like what's on your bucket list, so you're 84 years old. What are some of the things that you would like to do in, say, the next 5 years of your life?
Well, I really don't have a bucket list, but I mean, a lot of things I like to do. I mean, I hope that my good health continues for another 5 years. My granddaughter, Tierney, who's in college right now, wants me to take her to Paris for a week so she can experience all the Parisian stuff,
Yeah, oh, that sounds terrific. And she graduates, right? She graduates in
Hey,
April or May?
yeah. So I'd
So
love
maybe
to
this
do that.
summer.
Yes, maybe April in Paris is a wonderful time, right? They wrote that
Beautiful.
song, didn't they? So I'd love to do that after she graduates, but I'm sure I'd have to take my other granddaughter as well as my daughter and maybe even my daughter-in-law, Maureen.
Okay, well, you.
I have to play that by ear, I guess. And I'd also like to visit the Holy Land after reading the Bible. The Holy Land would be pretty nice. I've already spoke to a couple of people that have been here, and they thought it was one of the highlights of their life. I had already been to Greece and Istanbul on a religious tour, and it was probably one of the best trips of my life. I spent 2 weeks through Greece, all of the religious places, and then I got on a ship and went to all the islands and see all the ruins from 10,000 years ago. I felt like I was on the footsteps of civilization when I was walking through those places.
Wow.
10,000 years ago.
Right, and you did that trip just a couple of years ago, right? Right before COVID hit, I
Right.
think. The fall before that's when you went. So you were 82,
Maybe
80,
yeah.
81. That's pretty good though that you're able to do that, and you did lots of walking. I remember that trip. You did tons of walking every single day.
You weren't there to push me to walk, so I had to walk up and down all the hills of the ruins. So it was quite a trip, and especially in Athens. I think it's like 1,800 steps to get up to the Parthenon from the
Wow.
ground level. So that was quite a beautiful place. So, and I'd like to say that I was in the Air Force for 13 years, and I was all over the world in the Air Force. The only place I never made it to was South America. I've been to Africa, Greenland, Asia, uh, Europe, and never went to Antarctica, of course, either. But that was I feel blessed to have been able to do that. But I was near Venezuela. I was at Aruba, and I could see Venezuela 12 miles away from the beach.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
but that was the closest I was able to do it. And let's see, I think I have something else to add here. Let's see. Since you got me cornered. That's it. Well, I think you had a question there if I had any major setbacks.
Oh yeah, we could. I just talking about resilience and it hasn't always been a straight path from when we started working together to the fitness level you're at now. We had a couple setbacks, and I just kind of thought maybe it would help people to hear what we did when you did have setbacks, like you broke your ankle.
No, I really haven't had any setbacks. Well, I feel that my good health, losing the weight, and all the exercise, I'm very fit. And one of the amazing things is with all these exercises, I don't have one joint in my body that has any problems. I mean, I have no arthritis. Whether that's part of the exercise program or not, I just have no. I can move every joint in my body without any difficulty. So,
Which says a lot. I mean, that's terrific. And
I'd like to say that I'd like to just mention my children.
sure.
So I started my business, Kovacs Construction, actually 50 years ago in January, last month. January 7th of 72 is when I started it. And my son, Tom, and my daughter, Wanda, actually operate the business, and they're very successfully doing a good job. And so I feel blessed that they're doing it. I mean, a lot of families have businesses, but the children don't get involved in it at all. And the other thing that I feel very happy about and fortunate is I actually hear from my daughter every day. She's relentless. But anyway, my son, I talk to him 2 or 3 times a week.
Which
So
is
I'm very
terrific.
close to both my children. They're working hard. They got healthy. They're healthy, their family, and so is my daughters. And I'm healthy. So, I mean, what more could I ask for?
You have so much to be grateful for. You are very blessed and very loved by so many, Dick.
So I also want you to know that in business, they used to call me the Terminator. Because if you didn't handle your job, you couldn't pull your weight. Somebody would tell me, one of the foremen, they all refused to fire anybody. So they gave that job to me. So I would tell the people that they're done. But for that, I got a nickname, the Terminator. So everything's not good about me, you know.
Oh well,
Not,
you look a
not,
little bit like Arnold Schwarzenegger, actually.
well, if only I had his body.
Oh, you're getting there. Anyway,
Okay.
so thank you so much, Dick, for sharing everything with people, and I really appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing you next week for our workouts. We had our training session this morning, and I'll see him next Monday, and he'll keep things going on his own. Walking on the treadmill, working on the bike, whatever he does, but he always does something every day. He usually starts his day off with exercise and drinking water and eating healthy. A bowl of oatmeal I know he had this morning. So it's really great. So thank you so much, Dick.
And thanks for asking me to do everything. So
Oh, you're very welcome. You're an inspiration, Dick, a true inspiration.
we're a partnership, right?
Well, you got it. We're a team. We're a team, my friend. So high five.
See ya.
High five. All right. Take it easy, Dick. Thanks so much.